Hello, and welcome to another edition of Talking with the Principal. I'm Ron Strominski, principal of Wakefield High School, and joining me in studio for today's show are two of our 5 foreign exchange students for 1995 or 1996-97. Let's get the year right, right? We have 2 ladies with us visiting from Sweden. We'd like you to meet them today and have an opportunity to talk with them. Ingela Hedstrom. Ingela, welcome.
Thank you.
And Katarina Johnstal.
Thank you.
Katarina, welcome, and thank you for appearing today. I'm sure that some of the things that I'm going to be asking you today are things that many my American cohorts have asked you along the way in terms of reactions to what you found here. But before we get to that, both of you are from Sweden. Katarina, where are you from in Sweden?
Stockholm.
So you're from the big city.
Yes,
and Ingela, where are you from?
I'm also from Stockholm.
So did you know each other?
No, we didn't.
You went to different schools, lived in different neighborhoods in Stockholm?
Yes.
And you met here?
Yes.
Isn't that, you had to come all the way to Wakefield, Massachusetts to meet, and you're both from Stockholm. Tell us a little bit about Stockholm, Katarina.
Stockholm is a city with about 1 million inhabitants. It's almost like Boston, I would say, but it's not as big.
Now, if we were, how far away from one another do you live in Stockholm? When you compared notes, are you within a mile or is it 5 miles away, do you know?
I live in a suburb, and it takes me, with car, it takes 20 minutes.
I see. Is this your first visit to America?
No, it's my second.
You were here before. What was the occasion for your last visit, Ingela?
No, it's just family vacation.
So was it on the East Coast or were you in other parts?
Yes, well, Florida, so it's
You were
not
in
the same.
Florida. How about you, Katarina?
I've been here when I was 2 years old in California.
But you don't remember that
No,
very
I
well,
don't
do you?
remember.
Tell me something. Let's start with Katarina. What surprised you most about being in Wakefield, Massachusetts, or Wakefield High School? When you go back and someone says, what didn't you expect, and what's the thing you'll remember most and you were most surprised about?
I think I expected it to be more different from. It's not that much different actually. I expected it to be more difficult.
So you found
just-
things very similar here as to Stockholm?
Not everything is similar, but a few things. Most things are the same, but.
Does that mean Stockholm is Americanized, or is the United States
All of Europe is
Stockholmized?
Americanized. I would
All
say.
of Europe is
Yeah.
Americanized. How about you, Ingela? Anything that stands out in your mind?
I agree with Katarina, but I also have to add that the school spirit and all the school system, you're so proud of your school here. No one's proud of school.
Is that so? It's that. Of course, we're going to talk about school, but what is it? What can you put your finger on it?
There are more organized things to do in school, like
Yes.
sports. After school, we don't. You're not as organized in school.
Involved
in school. I mean.
Actually, in most of Europe, high schools don't have sports teams, right?
No, I don't.
And so whatever sports teams exist are really like city or town teams. They're organized in the towns so that, for example, if we didn't have high school basketball or baseball or football in Wakefield High School, if we were in Europe, there would be a Wakefield team, but it would be the town that would sponsor it. And do you think that accounts for the difference in spirit?
Yeah, you get a more sense. This is one school against another school, and you're more proud of your school that you're in.
So as a result of athletics, it gives you a little more pride, you think, then.
Yes.
Would you like to see that in your school?
Yes.
To have athletic
Yeah.
teams in your own school?
Yeah.
One of the things that people say about American schools versus European schools is that kids in America are not in school long enough, they don't work hard enough, they're not achieving as well. How long is your school, back in your school, in your high school in Stockholm, how long is your school day? What time do you start and what time do you end?
We start around 8 and we go from 2 to 4.
But some days you start later. My latest day I start 10:40.
10:40? You don't start until 10:40 some days?
Yes.
But now on the day you start at 10:40, what time do you get out?
My earliest day I got out at 12, and my latest day at 4:30.
So you really have a shorter amount of time in school. Do you take a lot of work home with you? You go to different schools, I assume.
Yes.
Do you take a lot of work home?
I think I have more homework here than I do at home, though.
Is that so?
It's more that if you miss the homework at home, that's okay. You can live with that. But if you miss the homework here, you're dead.
Really? So I'm getting a sense from you that being in Wakefield High School, you're in school longer, you're working more out of school on homework, and the teachers are on your case if your work isn't done more than your teachers at home would be. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
I find that fascinating. I mean, you probably have heard that. Now, how many languages do you speak? You both speak English beautifully. Do you study English in your school?
Yes, we do.
When do you start learning English?
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
Yes.
And you take it every year
Yes.
as a major subject. You meet it every day. And everyone in your school then speaks English.
Yes, they do.
What other languages, Angela, do you have to study, or are there any?
In 9th grade, you can choose. No, in 7th grade, you choose in third language, mostly German or French.
So as a result, you end up with at least students graduating from high school end up being somewhat proficient in 3 languages.
Most do.
Most do. And English is obviously very important
Yes.
to be able to carry on whatever post-high school business one gets involved in. Now, when you leave here to go back to Sweden, will you be finished with high school? Katarina, do you have to go back to your school?
I will have 2 years more in my high school. So we start school 1 year later than you do. So, and I miss 1 year now, so I will be.
When you say that, does that mean you're 6 years old when you start school?
No, we're 7 years old.
7 years old. Wow. Now, isn't that interesting? Because, again, in America, there's reason to believe that there's a lot of talk now. We start students at 5, kids at 5, and there's a lot of talk that we ought to start them at 4, because the early years are the most significant years for learning. That, those formative years are so significant. And so you don't start
but
until you're 7.
If the kids are mature, they can start school at 6, but usually it's 7.
Usually it's 7. What about after high school in Sweden? Do a lot of the students in your school go on, or is that the end of education for many of them? And
A lot of people go to university, like college here. We don't pay to go to university at home as you do for college, so it's not an economical problem.
that's a major concern here, as you know, from meeting American students. How am I going to pay these tuitions, which are substantial? So if you go to, say, the University of Stockholm, there is no fee, no tuition?
No.
No, I don't think so. Maybe you have to pay for books.
That's
and-
it.
Yeah, books,
Yeah.
Now,
literature, all that
is
stuff.
it competitive? Do you have to have very high grades
Yes.
to be able to qualify? Angela, tell us about it.
It depends. There's always more popular courses, like if you want to be a doctor or something like that. And then you have to really have high grades. But you can, if you want to be something, then you can do it in a small school and out in nowhere instead, and you get in on low grades.
So if you're a good student and you work hard, you don't have to worry about getting a part-time job, working hard every summer to put money together, and your family doesn't have to worry about it. If you're a good student, the government will make sure that you get your education. And is that a 4-year experience at the university?
Most of them are.
Angela, what are you looking ahead to? Will you have to return to high school, by the way, when you go
Yes, I
back?
have to do my senior year all over.
So this year doesn't really count then for
Not at
either
all.
one of you. It's nice, but now, does it upset you that you won't finish school with your classmates back home? It was worth the trip, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it's going to be worth it, but it's sad that I can't graduate with them. But
So they won't consider the time that you spend here as credits toward your graduation. Angela, what are you planning on after your high school experience?
I don't know yet. So it's good I have another year, I can think.
Gives you an extra year.
Yes.
How about you, Katarina? Any idea?
no, I have no idea what I'm going to do. at home.
You miss your folks at home? Miss being away, or is it a little too soon to ask that question?
Of course, I miss my friends and my family and everything, but it's not that bad.
What made you decide to take a year out and come here, Katarina?
I think it's my cousins. Three of my cousins have been here before, and they've told me that it was the best year of their lives. So I had to try it for myself.
Ingela, what gave you the idea to come to America?
I don't know. It was my friend. She told me, I want to go. Can't you go too? And then I thought about it. And, oh, sounds fun.
And what was the reaction of your family to you being away for a whole year?
My parents are sad, but
They said it was sad,
yes, but they accepted.
They accepted it. If you wanted to come, that they would be happy to support you in
Yes.
that. And how about your host family? Let's give them a little credit while I'm sure that they're going to be watching. Who's your host family, Katarina?
They're Judy and Bob Hines, live on Main Street, and I really liked my host family. I've been moving because I came here a bit later, but
Mhm.
I really like staying with
So
them.
you're with the Hines family. And Ingela, who is your host family?
Laura and Jerry Healy. I live close to school.
You see them? They're right out there watching you right now. So you live close enough to walk to
Yes.
school?
And it's so
Are you speaking of all of those activities and things that are going on? Have you found time to get involved in some of those activities, either athletic or non-athletic? Ingela, what have you gotten involved in?
I was in the field hockey team, and now I'm signed up for indoor track.
Field hockey and indoor track.
Yes.
We had an exciting field hockey season this year, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was so fun.
It really was.
And I'm in the symphony orchestra. So
In the symphony orchestra. How about Katarina? What did you get involved in so far?
I haven't gotten involved in anything yet because I came to this school a little later than everybody else, but I'm studying indoor track next week, so.
Indoor track. Okay. Is there a particular, this is something that's always fascinating, and I want to get it in before we go on. How old do you have to be to drive in Sweden?
18.
18. And do teenagers in high school, since you go a little longer, do many teenagers in high school have cars?
No.
There are no cars. You don't have to worry about, like we do, enough places to park. Are you amazed when you see how many American teenagers have cars here? It is amazing, isn't it, huh? A car's very expensive in Sweden? You
It
know?
depends on what car you use. So.
What is the Swedish car? Volvo?
Volvo and Saab.
The Volvos and Saabs. Americans buy those up by the thousands here. Those are the excellent cars. Listen, we are out of time. I'd love to talk to you for another hour. Best of luck to both of you for the remainder of the year.
Thank you.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure having you here. We've enjoyed it, and I hope those of you out in cable television land have enjoyed it also. We'll return with another edition of Talking with the Principal very soon. Thank you.